With that down, let's move on to this, shall we? You know, of course, Creature Commandos has started. I didn't love it, the first two episodes, but I liked it. I thought it was good. I mean, it's not on the same level for me as, like, say, Invincible or like Arcane or things like that, but it was a promising start, and it shows that it's got a lot of potential of where it can go. More importantly, it's kind of the soft launch of the DCU. Of course, the real hard launch of the DCU comes with Superman in the summertime. But as James Gunn has been laboring with his partner, Peter Safran, to get a brand new DC universe ready for us, there's been some confusion among some people and some questions about, well, listen, Matt Reeves' Batman was obviously a big winner. Why don't you just take Robert Pattinson and make him the Batman in the new DCU? And when that was brought up to him on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, which is kind of a sister thing of ours because we were managed by the same people. Anyway, James Gunn kind of addressed it. He's thought about it. This is what James Gunn said. He said, I've contemplated it, bringing Robert Pattinson into the DCU. When asked if he was considering bringing Pattinson's Batman into the DCU on Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, I contemplate everything. We talk about everything. You'd be an idiot not to consider it. James Gunn continued, adding that DC Studios is committed to telling Elseworlds stories and DCU stories. I want the freedom. I love this because you guys have been watching me for a long time. I've been crying for this for a decade. I want the freedom to tell Elseworlds stories. We want to be able to tell a story in which Superman is very different from his DCU counterpart, Gunn said. We want to play with these characters in different ways. One of the things I love about DC over Marvel comic books is that those things are much more plentiful. There's many more Elseworld stories. There's many more presentations of Wonder Woman and Batman and Superman, especially that you see them showing up in different ways in different Elseworld stories. I think that's part of the fun of DC. Watchmen is the result of DC telling a story that's outside the continuity of DC Comics. Anyway, let's get on to that in a minute about the whole idea about Elseworlds and stuff like that. I know there have been a bunch of people who loved the Batman like I did. Penguin was so good. And kind of, there are people thinking, why don't they just bring Robert Pattinson over? My feeling on this is the same as it's always been. I think part of the power of Matt Reeves' Batman, played by Robert Pattinson, is the same kind of element that was there with Christopher Nolan's Batman. He doesn't live in a world of the supernatural. There's something more grounded. That's why, like, The Dark Knight is really more of a crime thriller than it even is as a comic book. And I feel like the Batman that we got in Matt Reeves' world is not a Batman that exists in a world with women with magical golden ropes that make you tell the truth, or people who can run at the speed of light, or alien beings from Mars or Krypton or wherever else you wanted to be. It was a very gritty, grounded Batman that felt like, in a way that Matt Reeves made us feel like that could actually happen. Of course it couldn't, but it made us feel like it could. And so while I completely understand a lot of people who love Batman and would just love to see that Batman in the DCU, Sean, for me, it's not something that clicks together. It's shoving a square peg into a round hole. I'm glad he is where he is. I want to see more Robert Pattinson Batman movies, but I think you need a different Batman for the DCU. But I agree with James Gunn saying you had to at least consider it. I don't know. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Aura. Let's be honest, what most people really want for the holidays is to see their favorite people more often. That's why this year, the best gift you can give, besides plane tickets, is an Aura digital picture frame. Named the #1 digital photo frame by Wirecutter, Aura frames are incredibly smart and easy to use, allowing you to upload unlimited photos and videos directly from your phone to the frame. Plus, you can order the frame online and preload it with photos and videos using the Aura app, so it's ready to go right out of the box. Ann and I have had ours for a while now, and we absolutely love it. Because you may not know, Ann and I like to take a lot of pictures, including a lot of our dogs, Ann's recent trip to Paris, and a whole bunch of other things. And we love having it right on display right there in our living room. So save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get 35% off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames by using promo code Campea at checkout. That's AURA frames.com, promo code Campea. This deal is exclusive to listeners, so get yours now in time for the holidays. Terms and conditions apply. What do you think about his comments, and what do you think about the whole debate about where Robert Pattinson's Batman should go?
So I like the idea that we're going to let these directors cook. and they went, Matt Reeves, what do you want to do with Batman? And he had this vision over here. And then James Gunn came in, and what do you want to do with Superman, your DCU? And he wants to do something else over here. And we're going to let two different visionary directors have their vision for DC. And they're not the same. And that's okay. And that's a good thing. It reminds me of when people wanted Christian Bale to show up in the DCEU,
in Batman versus Superman,
and let's do in the Flash will Christian Bale show up? And I was like, no, you had it's beloved because it's so anchored in reality, and you undo the anchor as soon as a portal opens and Christian Bale walks through it. And that's kind of the same thing here, where you have this Matt Reeves universe that is built around a specific set of rules, and it's a different set of rules than what James Gunn wants to build his universe around.
Yeah.
Let them both exist. And I think the other thing that's nice about it is that you give the audience permission not to watch everything. And what I mean by that is you think like the MCU, for the first 3 phases, it was a pretty tight genre expectations, and so everybody would watch everything and you knew what to expect. And with phases 4 and 5, they've started to branch out a little bit more, which is good, but it also means people have watched things and been like, what is Marvel doing? Like, this isn't what I signed up for with Iron Man. And so people feel like they don't have permission to just skip out without feeling like they're abandoning Marvel. And this gives you permission to say, yeah, I like the James Gunn stuff, Matt Reeves, that's for other people. And I like that. Like, not every piece of it needs to be for the full fan base.
Yeah, just for argument's sake, let's say at some point James Gunn decides to let some director, I don't know, Jordan Peele, do Superman Red Son, which I've always wanted a Superman Red Son. The great thing about Red Son is you can go to a movie audience person and they go, well, I've never seen one of the DC movies. Doesn't matter. It's not connected to anything. You can just walk in totally cold, having never watched a DCU movie, and go in and watch Red Son. Same thing could have been said about Matt Reeves' Batman. It's like, well, I didn't watch like Batman versus Superman or just doesn't matter. It's a totally separated thing. It's a totally isolated thing. I love the idea of these Elseworlds stories, and we'll see where they go with them.
Now that we got Sean in here, I got a question for you, Sean.
Okay.
It's Friday, so we usually have Batman Beyond Day. I want your take on this.
Oh no!
What do you think about a live action Batman Beyond movie? Will it make money?
I think if you do a Batman Beyond movie, it's going to have a gigantic budget. Anything with, I would say anything with Batman in it will make money, but we had a Flash movie come out a year ago that had multiple Batman in it.
I hate
and
that
it
argument.
Lost a ton. That movie, it had Batman. Batman doesn't inherently sell the way that you would think that it would, and now Joker doesn't inherently sell either. And so I think if they made a Batman Beyond movie, you would have a bunch of people that absolutely loved it. Maybe it would grow a new fan base. It's just tough to see that level of risk when you think a movie that would have to cost $200 million. So now it has to make over $600 million or whatever to be profitable with a niche show from 24 years ago. It's just tough to do it
Sean,
so you're saying, hang on, so you're saying there's a chance. Is what I'm getting from this conversation.
I mean, seated in the Batman Beyond side right here, but I get it. You answered with logic. And that's what we don't want to hear right now.
It would be irresponsible for them to not make this movie with a $350 million budget. So if I'm in charge, of course I'm going to greenlight it.
Hey,
Is that what you want to hear?
You could do an
Nobody
animated
cares about a non-Bruce Wayne Batman.
That's like saying nobody cares about non-Peter Parker Spider-Man.
Hey, listen, and I got corrected. I mean, that's what I thought, and I was wrong about that, right? Like, I didn't care, and then they made me care about Miles Morales.
However,
that's why. But I was say that's why ever since Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, I've said, you know what? I think the chances today of a Batman Beyond are probably better than ever because Batman Beyond the Spider-Verse really did that. But you ask any average non-comic book person, movie fan, who are 95% of the audience,
I don't talk to those
coming
people.
out and asking who's Batman, none of them are going to say Conor McGregor, McDickey. What's his name?
Terry
McGinnis. Terry McGinnis. No, not one person coming out of those movie theaters is going to say Terry McGinnis. They're going to say Bruce Wayne.
However, I have gone on record as saying if you were to approach it like Spider-Verse and you did a really innovative, like animated feature.
See, animated's a chance.
Then you could make.
But Ray is insisting on live action.
But am I the only one in that one scene in the Batman where he puts on that contact lens and he walks through that bar? Didn't think of Batman Beyond at that moment.
They thought of Iron Man. People thought of Iron Man.
I didn't think of Batman Beyond to that. No.
Like, you have to earn Batman Beyond. The reason it worked for the people it worked with is because it's a sequel to Batman the Animated Series, which is a beloved series. And so you had an established Bruce Wayne that now it's interesting to see him as the mentor, but it's because you earned it with something beforehand.
The only way I started thinking this could work in live action, I know
Boy, we got sidetracked.
I know that's a huge tangent, but in the DCEU before they buried it, and what Keaton had come back, one, he was going to be in Batgirl or Batwoman, but that got
He was going to be
canceled.
in Batgirl.
So he was going to be in Batgirl. He was in the Flash, and let's say in an alternate universe these things were successes. I could have seen Keaton's verse having then bridged to a Batman Beyond. That was the only way.
Let's round this up. I trust in James Gunn, and I trust that he will make a Batman Beyond.
Okay, we're wrapped up.
I trust his decision on Robert Pattinson not being.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm just happy he considered it because I love Robert Pattinson's Batman, but it just doesn't fit.
Yeah, I agree.
It just doesn't fit.
I mean, it's hard for me to say it definitively doesn't fit because I haven't seen a single frame of the new movie. But from everything that it sounds like, and oh dear, Dune came back in again. A dog we're taking care of knows how to open the door.
Just make sure you push it real close.
Anyway, guys, the question is for you. What do you think about James Gunn's comment saying, yeah, I considered, of course, it was a big successful thing and we're starting a new franchise, but they decided not to do it. I still think that was absolutely the right decision. Maybe you don't think so. Maybe you've second guessed it. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts and why Ray is wrong to want a live action Batman Beyond. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.